The world we know today was shaped by the outcome of the First World War, but history could have taken a very different path. The balance of power, the borders of nations, and even the rise or fall of entire societies could have changed if Germany had won the war. The Great War began in 1914 with a network of alliances, rising tensions, and the belief that the conflict would be short. Instead, it became one of the most destructive events in modern history, but the result was not guaranteed. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. A few strategic turns, a few faster decisions, and Germany could have reshaped the future. Many historians agree that Germany came close in the early phase, and if key moments had shifted, the world order today might look nothing like the one we live in. Germany entered the war with the Schlieffen Plan, a strategy built on the idea of defeating France quickly before Russia could fully mobilize in the east. In real history, the plan failed due to delays, stronger French resistance, and unexpected challenges on the Western Front. But if the plan had succeeded, if Germany had broken through French defences more effectively, the fall of Paris could have happened within weeks. A rapid collapse of France would have delivered Germany a crucial early victory. Without France in the fight, Britain would have struggled to maintain a strong ground presence in Europe, forcing them to withdraw and reconsider their role in the war. With the Western Front closed, Germany would shift its full military strength to the east. Russia, facing a massive German force, would be overwhelmed far sooner than in real history. Instead of years of fighting, the Russian Empire might surrender early, leading to a much larger German influence across Eastern Europe. The war would end long before 1918, and Germany would demand a peace settlement on its own terms. Instead of being punished by the Treaty of Versailles, Germany would write its own version of a peace treaty, one that expanded its borders, strengthened its military rights, and created dependent states in Eastern Europe. The map of Europe would tilt heavily toward German power. A German victory also means the political atmosphere of Europe takes a different shape. In real history, the harsh punishment of Germany, combined with economic collapse, helped create the conditions that allowed Adolf Hitler to rise. But in a world where Germany wins, these conditions never appear. No national humiliation, no economic disaster caused by reparations, no social collapse strong enough to push radical groups into power. Adolf Hitler remains a minor figure with no pathway to leadership. Without him, the Nazi Party never becomes a major force. The Holocaust does not occur, and the world is never pushed into the Second World War. Germany, now the strongest power in Europe, consolidates its gains. Many smaller nations become client states, following German orders in exchange for security. German language, culture, and political systems spread through newly controlled regions. Large areas of Eastern Europe begin restructuring their institutions to align with German expectations. Schools teach German more widely, businesses follow German regulations, and entire regions operate under German influence. Europe forms a vast zone of German dominance, something like a pre-modern version of a unified Europe, but controlled by a single powerful empire rather than shared democratic institutions. Meanwhile, the British Empire still exists, but its position is weakened. Britain must accept a Europe under German leadership, which limits British influence over continental affairs. The United States, which entered the real war late and used the victory to establish itself as a global power, takes a very different path. With the war ending early and the US staying neutral, its international role remains smaller. The country continues to grow economically, but without a major global victory, it does not become the central world leader we know today. Instead, American influence spreads slowly, staying mostly in the Western Hemisphere and in economic trade rather than politics or military control. The technology of the 20th century also follows a different timeline. Many of the major breakthroughs we credit to the Second World War, advances in aviation, radar, nuclear research, communications, and medicine, develop at a different pace. Instead of rapid scientific leaps caused by wartime competition, Germany leads a slower but steady wave of innovation. Its large industrial base and strong engineering culture help push early development in aviation and transportation. German companies dominate aircraft design, and European travel evolves faster. Long-distance trains and early highways appear across the continent. Scientific research centres grow in Berlin, Munich, and other major German cities, making Europe the centre of scientific progress instead of the United States. Colonial history also changes dramatically. In our world, many colonies in Africa and Asia gained independence after the Second World War weakened European powers. But without that Second War, these empires remained strong. Germany had significant colonial ambitions, and a victory in World War I would strengthen those plans. German territories in Africa expand. British and French colonies remain under European control, because their empires are not weakened by another devastating conflict. Independence movements still appear, but they face stronger resistance from European powers. The colonial world lasts longer, delaying the rise of many modern nations. The Middle East takes another path as well. In real history, the Ottoman Empire collapsed after the war, and European powers drew new borders. But if Germany wins, the Ottoman Empire survives because it fought on the German side. The empire still faces internal problems, but it does not break apart completely. Oil becomes extremely important, and since Germany is the Ottoman Empire's strongest ally, German companies gain early rights to Middle Eastern oil fields. This gives Germany enormous economic power in the coming decades. Europe becomes dependent on German-controlled oil, further increasing German influence in global politics. As time passes, the world begins shifting into two major blocs. One is led by Germany and its allied or dependent states across Europe, the Middle East, and parts of Africa. The other is led by the United States and Britain, who form a partnership to balance German power. Instead of a Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union, the global tension centers on the United States and a German-led Europe. Both sides compete in industry, technology, and global influence. Each expands its alliances, creating a tense but controlled international environment where each move is carefully watched. Scientific progress accelerates again under this rivalry. Nuclear research, which in real history was led by American scientists, becomes a German-led field. German physicists, who were already among the best in the world, move forward without interruption from political turmoil. If Germany pursues nuclear energy or weapons, it does so with a controlled, strategic approach, aiming to maintain its leadership without provoking direct conflict. Satellite technology and early space exploration likely begin in Europe first. Berlin becomes a major centre for scientific achievement, and European rockets lead early steps towards space. Culturally, Europe becomes more unified under German influence. German films, music and literature spread across the continent and into other parts of the world. Instead of Hollywood dominating global entertainment, a powerful European film industry rises. American cinema continues, but it competes with German-led filmmaking that reaches audiences across Europe, Africa, and parts of Asia. The German language becomes widely taught, often serving as the main second language in schools around the world. English remains important, but German becomes a major global language due to Europe's dominant role. As the century moves forward, cities across Europe grow into advanced industrial centres. High-speed rail lines connect major regions, and German-designed aircraft dominate international airports. Middle Eastern oil wealth flows heavily toward German companies, strengthening Europe's economic position. African colonies develop large trade networks, but continue to push for independence, setting the stage for future political changes. Asia expands rapidly, especially China and Japan. but both must negotiate with a powerful Europe that sits at the centre of world trade. The world becomes a multi-power system led by Germany instead of the United States. This alternate history removes the destruction of two world wars, allowing Europe to grow stronger earlier. But it also creates a world where many nations face slower paths to independence. Cultural diversity still exists, but German influence shapes the direction of politics, technology, and education. The global order is more centralized, more controlled, and more European in character. Whether this world is better or worse depends on perspective. Some tragedies of real history never happen, but some freedoms appear much later. The world takes a very different form, shaped by decisions made on battlefields more than a century ago.